Have you ever wondered how the administrative and legislative structure of British India evolved? A major milestone in this evolution was the Indian Councils Act of 1861. An act of the Parliament of the United Kingdom, it was passed on the 1st of August, 1861. This act transformed India's Executive Council to function as a cabinet run on the portfolio system. The act made significant changes in the Governor-General's Council. A fifth member was added for the executive functions of the council. The members were responsible for home, military, law, revenue, and finance. A sixth member for public works was added in 1874. For legislative purposes, the Governor-General's Council was enlarged. There were to be between 6 and 12 additional members who were nominated by the Governor-General and appointed for a period of 2 years. At least half of the additional members were to be non-official, either British or Indian, and their functions were confined to legislative measures. The Governor-General also had the power to promulgate ordinances without the Council's concurrence during emergencies. The Secretary of State for India in Britain could also dissolve any act passed by the Governor-General's Council. This act restored the legislative powers of the Governor and Councils of the Presidencies of Madras and Bombay, which was taken away by the Charter Act of 1833. The Legislative Council of Calcutta had extensive power to pass laws for the whole of British India. Provisions were made for the formation of legislative councils in other provinces. New provinces could also be created for legislative purposes, and lieutenant governors be appointed for them. However, the Legislative Council had a limited role. It was chiefly advisory. No discussion on finance was permitted. Even though Indians were nominated, there was no statutory provision for the inclusion of Indians in it. In conclusion, the Indian Councils Act 1861 was a significant step in the evolution of the administrative and legislative structure of British India. It introduced the portfolio system, expanded the council for legislative purposes, and restored legislative powers to the presidencies of Bombay and Madras. However, the act had its limitations, particularly in terms of the limited role of the Legislative Council and the lack of statutory provision for the inclusion of Indians.